Hello, this is Sunil Ramakrishna. This is basically the system basically, which is basically developed for overseas client basically, who are basically recruiting the candidates for overseas. This is username and password, and this is basically the transaction. This is the master. This is the utilities. This is the reports basically, and this is basically the attendance system basically, simple attendance system basically you can say. Transactions basically contains candidate information. You can basically search here basically. For example, like this basically you can do. You can basically search from mobile number also. You can add the data, you can change the data, you can delete the data. You can like this add the data. In this basically documentation information basically are there. All the documentation basically which candidates goes going to upload. Candidates company information, that is basically the agencies basically who are recruiting the candidate basically the money information of the candidate which he is going to give, and he is given log information, how many times basically the candidates is calling. For example, he cleared the interview and he basically is waiting for medical, so he called for medical, then basically he called again basically for medical result, then basically he called for visa, then basically he calls for the money information what he have to pay, then basically he is going to call for ticket basically how when he is going to get the ticket, this action so each and every log information basically is going to be. And this is basically the agency amount basically, which agency amount is agencies are taking the money basically for manpower consultancy. So this is basically one. He can basically change by selecting here, and he can delete the record also basically. So this is basically the master system, and this is basically the expense module basically. You can say what is the expense basically, which the manpower consultancy is doing basically. So in this basically he is doing which agency is basically expense he is doing. He is basically has done the agency's expense basically in what basically. He has given the money to agencies, he has basically given to interview, he has given money to all expenses basically, which company is basically doing on behalf of this basically. That is, this is basically the recruitment basically data basically. That is basically on 24th March basically one candidate, client basically has given the interview of Dubai basically. So this is basically one of the module, expense module you can say. These all are the masters module basically. User information is there. Then the agent's information, candidate category, cities, countries, recruitment details, states, subcategories, companies, master, all documents, expense master. Expense master is basically whatever expense basically which has seen in the previous video. Stationary expense, what all the expense master is, you can add all the expense data basically here. Then utilities basically you can say. If you want a calculator basically here, you can use calculator here. If you want notepad here basically, you can have the notepad here. If you want import any resume basically, then you can import here. Open any file, Excel file, mod, PDF file, then you can basically be able to open. This is basically the PDF file basically.